Alright, welcome back to Ayumu TV. Said we need your latest updates and I'm DB Ebedo. Na Yanitia say a year cocoa, a queer for sense media, Gusua and trendy, social media, a year as some keto. Na another Yamino say it seems say a year. Ato Forson, a finance minister, a Camille Koye say, ne political career, a yako a year. A DNT and America Sansem. We know say Randy Abbey and say, oh yeah, CEO of Cocoa Board. Na Nipa enka e was say oba na obeye announcement ewo a year cocoa reduction so a CEO no. But Ato Forson emum and I just say obey announcement and no and I just say actually a month for binum adri say ama Ato Forson I feel some bad way because the supporters na omo empese or no and obema that report no because right now no bibia attacks Ato Forson attacks also it was social media we know say Ato Forson and I just say obey declare say prices they yate so and so far we know say a year NDC amayekun a month for omu ayi money Ato Forson Haruna Idusu Jibrezabra na naje Asiedun Ketia and the rest fight it for a year flag a bearer for NDC amayekun and no just say ama Ato Forson supporters I feel it bad say John Dramani Mahama a person who pushy Ato Forson aside and no alcohol the same baby every say more na yen go tie ensem na nkasa enchi mu amanfo e de abetu bedwam ne bi
maybe I be the kind of sense uko dogu say uko twa obi a na wantimi a obi to so ka wanzam fi I don't think Sasikano
was $8,000, $9,000 per ton. When to me, mammy, 6,000 na. Sabre na wo catch you and say on fam mammy. Now by catching me cocoa and he say, what to me cocoa no so. Say me ton cocoa 10 bags or I buy one for 100 million, one for 10,000. Me talk cocoa bag be a one for 1,000 cedis.
What say? What 8 billion Ghana cedis? So the cocoa do it good years. At the end of the day, we are telling you good years. You answer the fata. Tinano na cabinet cottoners. Now was expected cabinet say the other ones are blanted or policy a carrier. Every woman, Wabawa, my boy.
They should bear the consequences of their voting, their actions. That the government takes you from 400 to 3,100 and you don't appreciate it. You say you want more, then you vote MPP out and bring NDC thieves, criminals, and robbers to come and manage you. Now you are crying. They haven't seen anything yet. Your mama lied to nurses. He lied.
Me taking me time and now me decided that much I want them to carry me spend this account.
Is this Ato Forson? Hey, Ato Forson.
But Mr. Speaker, you see, when we say this government is not spending, sometimes they confuse it for fiscal discipline. I heard the chairman of the Economic Committee, my very good friend, Honorable Afo, suggesting that what is happening is fiscal discipline. Honorable Chairman, it is not. There's a difference between fiscal discipline and a failure to meet fiscal targets. When you program that you are going to raise 102 billion and that you will spend 128 billion and achieve a primary balance of 0.4%, fiscal discipline is when you are able to do that. When you fail to raise the revenue and you fail to spend, that's not fiscal discipline. And because you are not raising the revenues that are required so that you can spend, this fiscal failure, the consequence is that you are failing to deliver on some essential public goods and services. You see, when you fail on fiscal policy or fiscal program, it will hit you in the goods and services and it will hit you in development. My brother, the deputy minister, or my brother, the minister, is asking me such as, I will show you. You see, one of the public goods and services is security. One of the public goods and services, Honorable Mutala, is security. You asked me, I'm responding to you. One of the public goods and services is security. To be able to provide security, you have to release money so that the intelligence agencies can gather intelligence and act on it. When you fail to meet the fiscal program, you can't even pay the allowances for intelligence officers. So, and I regret to say this, but because you asked, that's what I'm telling you. So when people plan that they are going to Nalerigu Senior High School to commit murder, your intelligence agencies can't pick it up because you are not spending. When you are not releasing the funds for intelligence work to be done, when people are plotting insecurity, your intelligence system can't pick it up. You asked me about examples of the public goods and services that will suffer. Let me give you some more examples. Take your flagship programs. You said you are going to do a national apprenticeship program. So far, because of the fiscal failure, you have only been able to release 7% of the budget. Because of the fiscal failure, your 1 million coders program, you have released 0% of the budget. Because of the fiscal failure, the Agric for Economic Transformation agenda, you've released 0% of the budget. The Women's Development Bank, you've released 0% of the budget. The Big Push, you've released 0% of the budget, and you are still listing old road projects that have been commissioned. So I'm drawing your attention to the fact that because you misconceived the fiscal program, it is showing where you have to release money. And you cannot keep going on failing to release money. Because if you do not release the money, public goods and services and development will struggle. People are looking for hospitals in their constituencies. Because of fiscal failure, you haven't been able to add one cement block to Agenda 111. Why? Because you are not raising and spending. How often can you tell people who are not getting the public goods and services that you promised that what you have done is that you brought the primary balance to 1.1? It's like a father who says that I am piling up all my salary in the bank account, but I won't pay my children's school fees, I won't pay their medical bills. When they ask me, I say the bank account is looking nice. That is what is going on. And that is why we are drawing your attention to the fact, though we've commended you in some areas, that you can't continue like this. Mr. Speaker, there are some recommendations we want to make. These are recommendations about some things that must be sustained. So, for example, let me speak about the currency. Now, the IMF has exposed you that part of what you are doing on the currency front is that you are dumping about $1.5 billion from the reserves that we left you onto the market to suppress the currency. And they have advised you that you should desist from that. The question is, how do you sustain an appreciation of the currency? We've already come to an understanding of why the currency has appreciated and what you are even doing as part of it. But how do you sustain it? Mr. Speaker, I have told you that we are patriotic. We will give record. We are not like those who would prevent you from laying papers on the floor or laying bills or fighting on the floor for political advantage. We will give you feedback and advice where necessary. So, Mr. Speaker, for example, on the currency front, what the government, we are advising in all humility, what the government should do is to take a lot more seriously the whole exercise of ensuring that exporters retire the forex earnings, properly so-called, back into the jurisdiction. The LOC requirements is what they should pay attention to. If you don't do that and you do an artificial dumping, today gold prices are high, so you are benefiting. What will happen tomorrow when gold prices are not high? Will you have $1.4 billion every 6 months to be dumping onto the market? No. As Honorable Minister, in all humility, your brothers and sisters on this side, we mentioned to you that to sustain the currency gains, pay more attention to the proper retirement of forex earnings, not an artificial dumping. Because today, if you dump currency artificially on the market and you suppress the rates, Governor Siama will have the rate, but Abochi will have the dollar. Today, a lot of importers are complaining that even when they file paperwork at the banks for transfer of forex, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they are not getting it. So if you go ahead with this artificial dumping and suppression, what will happen is that Governor Siama, as I told you, will have the rate, but Abochi will have the dollar. Mr. Speaker, on the revenue measures, our recommendation is that some of the revenue measures you have introduced are in the long run going to take inflation back up. We said it when you introduced the Doomsday levy at midnight, when you waited for everybody to go to bed and you brought the Doomsday levy. We told you that extra levies on petroleum eventually will translate into inflation. For us, you say because we don't have goodwill, we should keep quiet. If you like, don't listen to us. Your own Governor Siama is drawing your attention to the fact that it is a risk for increased inflation in the medium term. And so our advice is that some of these panic revenue measures, you originally misconceived the fiscal program. You are now panicking and you've introduced 8 new taxes. Some of them, like the Doomsday levy, like the special import levy that you have introduced, they are going to translate into inflation at some point in time. It will be good for you to pull them back now at this point in time and rather look at what you can do on the expenditure side to cut. And talking of expenditure cuts, if there is a place where the 24-hour economy is needed the most now, is the Public Investment Division at the Finance Ministry. Why? Because that is where public-private partnerships are conceptualized. That is where they need to be working around the clock so that you can crowd in private funding to support what you cannot fund from the Treasury. And so your brothers and sisters on this side will give you feedback that pay attention to these things. I'm going to end with a caution. Mr. Speaker, the cost of government services is going to go up because fees and charges are being put up by about 30 to 40%. Electricity is going up by about 16%, in addition to the 8 new taxes. And so the government should take caution that the measures are going to increase the cost of government services, eventually the cost of doing business, and eventually the cost of living because of inflation. We also asked them finally to tone down on the propaganda. The list that the Minister for Finance brought, now people on social media are drawing his attention to the fact that that is not the price of Yaz sanitary pad. What he came to list here, people are drawing his attention to it. The minister came here and claimed that there was no gold for oil program. The Bank of Ghana itself concedes that there was a gold for, if there was no gold for oil program, why did you make the announcement that you have cancelled the gold for oil program? That propaganda, stop it. For example, your road projects that you have listed, a good chunk of them are a repackage of already existent road programs. You don't need that propaganda to try and
Remember, conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude by saying that we will commend you where commendation is due, but we will also give you critique in good faith. If you take it and you adjust, it will help all of us. The propaganda is too much. For now, because you listened, your fiscal program, you are beginning to adjust it, but it's not sustainable. If you adopt the advice that we are giving you, the Republic will be the better for it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the